Hello, language and life-loving friends, and welcome to Creative Teaching and Learning Ideas with Patrick and Gable. I'm Patrick, and this fine furry gentleman is Master Gable. And today, in honor of Halloween, we thought we would create a Halloween-based video for you about 3 totally true ghost stories that happened not too long ago. So, let's begin. Okay, so part 1 is called The Visitation. Not too long after I graduated from grad school, I started teaching at a small university in western Wisconsin. And it was only in my second week when I had just a pile of homework that I was grading, and I was really the only one left in the building. It was about 9:30 at night, and I was trying to get the grading done, but it was really hot in there because it was summer session. And so I left the door open into the hall to try to get a breeze in. And suddenly, as I was grading, there was the most intense, powerful presence of someone watching me from the doorway. So I looked up as I was grading. I didn't see anybody, but there was a presence there, undescribable presence of someone. It felt like a female, but I couldn't tell, really. So I went on grading thinking, oh, it's just in my head. But then the feeling got stronger and stronger and stronger. So I got up. I thought, well, maybe somebody's around the corner watching me. There, new professors in town, who knows, right? So I walked around the whole 3rd floor of that building. Nobody. I mean, I knew at that point that everyone had gone home, because like I said, it was 9:30. So I went back in the room and I continued grading. Once again, the presence was there, to the point where it was so uncomfortable that I ended up closing the door and then laughing at myself, because I thought, if this is a ghost, if it is a spirit, there's no way that a closed door is going to keep it out. But at any rate, I closed the door, felt a little better, continued grading for just a few minutes because it was getting kind of eerie, and then I went home. Now, the next morning, when I got to school, of course, I was thinking about this all night, and I asked one of the women who I worked with, who had been there for quite a while, I asked her, has anyone ever felt a presence up here, particularly a female presence? And she says, why do you ask that? And so I explained to her what had happened the night before. And she said, that is very interesting. And I said, how's that? And she said, well, about a year ago, one of our students from Taiwan asked me almost a similar question. In fact, hers was, who is the female spirit up here? Because I can feel one as though it's like right in front of me. And my colleague said, wow, well, I don't know, but the woman who started this program years ago just recently passed away. There was also a woman from one of the language departments that passed away. And my colleague went on to ask me, she said, did you hear high-heeled shoes clacking? I said, no shoes, just a presence watching me. And she said, well, I don't know, but you're not the first one who's asked me that question. And so there was the visitation. Part 2, sounds without sighting. So let's fast forward a few months. It's now fall semester, same school, same floor. Again, it's about 9:30 at night. I was grading again a pile of papers. I had actually graded so much that I had fallen asleep at my desk. But suddenly there was a knock at my door, and I opened the door, and there, staring at me in the face, is one of the most stoic, serious professors who worked across the hall, and he was literally shaking. Now, a background story on this guy, he's a doubting Thomas. I mean, he has to see something in order to believe it. He needs proof. There's nothing in the paranormal that he believed. No ghosts, no spirits, no nothing, okay? But this guy, at this moment, outside my door, was shaking, literally shaking. I had never seen him like this before, ever again, for that matter. Did I see him in this condition? But his arms and his hands were shaking. He was as white as a ghost, literally, and he had little beads of sweat above his brow, and he asked me the following question. He said, "Patrick, did you just hear what I did not see?" And I said, "Oh, I'm sorry, I just woken up from I just dozed off." I said, your question is interesting, but can you ask me again?" And he said, "Yes, did you just hear what I did not see?" And I said, "I'm sorry, you're not making sense. What happened?" And he said, just moments before that like I said, his office was across the hall from me. And again, he left his door open to get some air in because some of those offices are kind of stuffy. And he heard a clack, 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 clack coming down the hall. And again, it was about 9:30 at night. And he thought, well, this is interesting. I thought just Patrick and I were the only ones here.
Can you help me?
And he heard this clack, clack, clacking coming down the hall. And the high-heeled shoes actually walked in front of his door. And he saw nothing, but he heard the high-heeled shoes going just in front of his door. And he thought, my goodness, what's going on? He got up from his desk and he went out in the hall and he heard still the clack, clack, clack go around the corner, but there was no body with the high-heeled shoes. There was nothing there. It was just invisible, but he heard the shoes. So he followed around the corner. It was one of those buildings that almost looked like a labyrinth. And he went around the corner and it just disappeared, literally into thin air. Okay. So he told me that as he was shaking. And I'm thinking, oh, high-heeled shoes. I think my colleague mentioned about that. At any rate, I'm getting kind of worried. And he said, "I'm going home." He said, I'm going home. And again, I'd never seen a man in this condition. I mean, he's as, like I said, as stoic, doubting Thomas. He doesn't believe in anything supernatural or paranormal. At any rate, he locked his door and I followed him and he drove me home. So there was the sighting, or the sounds without a sighting. Part 3, Phantom of the Halls. So, of course, after this happens, you don't get a good night's rest. And so early the next morning, I get to the department and I'm thinking about this still, what had just gone on. And so one of my other colleagues, I asked her, I said, has anyone ever reported, I talked to one of our other colleagues about this female presence on the floor, but has anyone ever heard high-heeled shoes before? And I explained what went on the night before. And she looked at me with a very interesting smile. And she said, "Patrick, what happened to your friend last night isn't the first time something like that has gone on here." And I said, "What do you mean?" And she said, "You know our wonderful janitor, the custodian that cleans our floor?" And I said, "Oh yeah, I talk to him all the time." She said, "Well, he used to come here at 5 a.m. every morning, but now he refuses to enter the building until a few of us are here." And I said, "What happened?" And she said, "Well, listen to this." So about a year before, which would have been a little while after both of those two spirits, or those two instructors passed on, that janitor was cleaning the 3rd floor. And he just went around the corner and was cleaning the steps. And he was about to come back and clean the women's bathroom when he heard clack, 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 clack. And there were the footsteps again. Clack, 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 clack. Clack, 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 clack. And he's thinking, oh, somebody's coming down the hall. Maybe I should get in the bathroom now. Well, okay, it looks like are they going into the bathroom? Because he was just around the corner, so he didn't see him. He just heard the clack, clack, clack. So they went into the bathroom. And he's thinking, okay, well, I've got to clean that, so I'm just going to hang out here by the stairs, okay? It was literally just a few feet away, okay? And he waited 2 minutes, 3 minutes, 4 minutes, 5 minutes, and he's thinking, geez, I have to get this thing done, okay? But he didn't want to leave there. He wanted to get it done first. So he knocked on the door and he said, "Custodial services, janitor." No answer. So, is the person okay? Is the woman okay? So he knocked again. No answer. That's weird. So he opened the door and looked inside. Now, as I was told, this was a tiny, relatively small bathroom, one stall, no window, so nobody's running out there, outside into the outside world. Once you go into the bathroom, you're there. There was nobody in the stall, nobody in the bathroom. And it scared the poor man, not to death, but close to it, to the point where he refused to enter the building and start cleaning, because he always remembered those high-heeled shoes coming down the hall and entering the bathroom, and then no one was there. So there was the phantom in the hall. So, my friends, there you have it. 3 interrelated stories: the visitation, sounds without sighting, and the phantom of the halls. So again, these were 3 encounters that happened to 3 different people on the same floor. So if you are a believer in ghosts, this is just something that supports that. And if you're not, perhaps now you're willing to entertain the idea that they're out there. I mean, and who did I see? Did I see the woman who started the program, or did I see the woman who taught in the language department? I don't know. But that night in my office, I felt a profound sense of curiosity. Like I said, there was nothing bad about the ghost at all. It just made me kind of feel uncomfortable because the presence was so intense. So perhaps it was the woman who started the program that I joined, because she had there was a profound sense, like I said, of curiosity. Like, who is this new instructor? Now the other ones, that my friends encountered, was that the woman who started the program, or was it the language instructor with the high-heeled shoes? Probably the language instructor, but who knows? It's a question that you can think about for yourself. Thank you for watching, and Gable and I appreciate the time that you've spent with us. Watch this video a few times and try to get an idea, and try to solve the question of who it was that we saw or felt. A PS for you: after those encounters on that floor, I had heard from multiple sources that anywhere from 5 to 6 other people also experienced similar phenomena. So something to keep in mind. It just wasn't us. There were others out there that felt and experienced it.
Can you see us? Can you hear us? Can you feel us?